So Ajit, you see it then when you say the big tech companies, you're referring to like a Google. Google's doing more viewpoint discrimination than say Verizon Fios. Like Verizon's at this moment doesn't seem to be in the space of deciding, which views get out and which views don't. But it's not hard for me at this moment to envision reading a story within the next day or two where we find out that Verizon decided to start employing viewpoint discrimination. Does it worry you that that does seem to be the the trend among major American tech companies who do have incredible power over what we see on the internet?
I think it is a concern. And regardless of your politics, I would hope you would agree that one of the great benefits of the internet was supposed to be the democratization of information, that regardless of where you happen to live or what you believed,
Right.
you would have access to the endpoints of the internet so you could access content that you wanted, so long as it's lawful. I mean, things like child pornography, terrorism, all that is a separate issue. But now, I mean, increasingly, we find people from all sides of the political spectrum wondering, why can I not access these posts? Why can't I speak myself in this new digital public square? These tech companies don't have any transparency regulations themselves, so they don't have to explain why I'm not able to see this or and that kind of thing. And so that's part of the reason why you see a Section 230 discussion on Capitol Hill, and the president. I mean, the president himself campaigned on repealing Section 230, along with some questions at the FTC about how the tech companies do business. And so it's very interesting how the conversation has shifted over the past 4 years from looking at the network operators to looking at the content companies themselves.
So I think that the one thing that I think we can all agree is that yes, there potentially, I think there's debate about who's getting censored by these, which voices are getting censored. Some people just like to be victims all the time. But
Right.
at the same time, what we've seen is competition that's popping up, particularly for some of the content platforms. So now you've got Parler and Getter and all these other things where, you can put your content, and there's, other YouTube-like forums to actually pick your content up. I think, that have a political spin. So to me, I don't know that, so I'm wondering what both of your argument is for companies saying, look, we're gonna, serve the audience that we want to serve, or allow for the content that we believe is good. And you can go to Getter or Parler or some other place if you want to get different content.
Right. Well, I think I would say two things. One, competitive entry is great. I encourage more companies, of course, to enter every market and see if their business plan will work. And if that's a business plan those companies want to pursue, great. If they succeed, that's the marketplace of ideas. But nobody should get a leg up or be pushed down arbitrarily. Secondly, what I would say, though, is that regardless of the size of the company, at least in the network operator space, there are transparency regulations. So whether you're a big internet service provider like Comcast or AT&T, or a very small one that only serves a few customers, you have to abide by the same FCC transparency regulation. As my third grade math teacher might say, show your work, describe exactly how you manage your network. But for the other tech companies, whether you're Getter or Facebook, there is no transparency regulation. You don't have to describe anything. And I think what would be good is for Congress to sit down and just update some of these digital rules of the road so that everybody can understand exactly the terms by which any company is playing. And I think that would take a lot of sting out of this issue. I think part of the thing that you put your finger on is that because people don't know the special sauce that leads to people not being able to speak on Facebook or see posts or whatever, there are all kinds of theories that arise that may be misplaced about why that is. And so I think if these companies just were a little more transparent about their algorithms or whatever, that could help a lot.